A very good day to all my listeners all across the globe. Welcome back to my podcast, George Nathaniel, and this is George Nathaniel for each one of you. Like I've been saying time and again, the year 2024, it's a brilliant year for each one. It's a year filled with a lot of opportunities, a lot of hopes, and of course, above everything, a lot of scope to overcome a lot of big achievements throughout the year. And like I mentioned earlier, we will now move from positive to progressive. So, all my podcast over 2024 will be on progressive pathways. How we can build ourselves to the next level, how we can raise benchmarks, and above all, how we can take on bigger challenges. Well, today's podcast is a very simple podcast. It says, on the way towards growth and progress. Well, each one of us wants to be on the way toward growth and progress. But what are we all doing about this? Well, time and again, each one of us sits down and discusses, or each one of us sits down and thinks, or each one of us sits down and makes a note of how many things that can be done. Well, I would say it's very important for us to enjoy the priority of privilege given to us to optimize our impact. So, if we are able to optimize priority, we will definitely have the privilege to excel. And we need to be patient over our ambitions because nothing happens overnight, over time. Well, looking at this particular podcast or listening to my podcast on the way towards growth and progress. Well, I would say in life, there are very two important values that we need to look forward. There are very two important and simple values that we need to minutely follow. One being the foundation that holds our fort. Foundation is something that helps us to overcome challenges. Foundation is something that makes an individual what he is. And the other one is the learning experience of how much he has learned and excelled over yesterday. And remember, if you have learned and excelled, you need to leave behind and move over to a new terrain of what you've learned, to a new terrain of how you've skilled yourself. So, foundation and learning is very important things that we need to very minutely follow time and again. Well, nothing's easy. Not even saying these words or not even building this podcast. It takes a lot of conviction, a lot of effort to sit down and validate over what I'm speaking or what I'm saying or what I'm sharing. And even I go back to my foundations, even I go back to my learnings, and I try to better each and every podcast. Well, what what is actually behind the journey of growth and progress? When I look at it in very simple ways, if I look at it in very simple forms, I would say leave behind what doesn't grow you. And when I say leave behind what doesn't grow you, I would say remember, whatever you are today is because of your perseverance, is because of your acceptance, because of your struggles, and overall, it's getting over the past. So, the past is something that doesn't grow you. So, let it go behind and work on what you have today and what you can build over tomorrow. Well, simple terms in life when it comes to development. Remember, in time, across time, or in all our means in time, when it comes to life development, if it doesn't find you on time, you better start moving to find it. Because sitting there hoping, sitting there thinking, sitting there planning gets nowhere. We need to put all be on track to what you want to achieve over time, over life, and make an impact. We need to be busy working on our game. We need to be productive on enhancing our values. Topic on the way towards growth and progress. There are a lot of things that we can talk about. But like each one of you know, I keep my podcast very simple. I keep it very, very generic. And I keep it as an eye opener so that each one of you can work on your individual preferences in life, individual goals in life, individual challenges in life. And when I refer to on the way towards growth and progress, well, there are a few things I would definitely like to tell you. It's very important for each one of us, or each one of you, or each individual to be creative. So you need to get creative to evolve with your creative mindset and stay competitive. Each one of us needs to have an open thought process. We need to consider optional wellness, well being, optional results, and nothing stops you from thinking beyond your imagination. We need to recognize values earned over our steps. Remember how much we have filled in and how much of ground we have actually covered. It's very, very important to adapt to new ideologies. Performance should be consistent. Our performance should always be our best. So when we look at our personal lives, our professional lives, our involvement across lives, or anything that relates to our well-being, I would say communicate with simplicity. Understand by yourself, for yourself, what you want to do professionally, personally, or in your involvement. The next step is how to get it done. So when you talk about the next step, it's actually the first step that you take forward that gets you on the way. So when you look at your professional lives, your personal lives, or all your well-beings in life, it's very, very important to understand that execution is the key. And execution comes with three very basic things. We need to evaluate our goals, we need to evaluate our dreams, we need to evaluate our challenges, we need to evaluate situations, circumstances, whatever. So once we've evaluated it, the next thing we need to do is elevate. And once we're able to elevate over our efforts, elevate over the challenge that is there, we have moved to the next level. And finally, once we've elevated, then definitely that leads to us excelling in what we've done. So evaluate, elevate, and excel. These three things is something that we need to work towards. And remember, you don't just grow alone, you grow over with time as well. And when I say you grow over with time, remember, you can't grow by your own terms. You can't restrict yourself to growth. You can't put in pointers to growth. So when you grow with turnarounds. So when we look at this topic on the way towards growth and progress, we need to understand clearly how what we are evaluating, how much we are elevating, and how much we are excelling. So if we are able to understand this, recognize this, and see how much gap we are actually filling over our lives in achieving newer goals, in surpassing newer benchmarks, and of course growing as an individual, we would be able to appreciate our efforts even much, much more. So, listeners, as you sit down and make a note of all the things that you want to do in life, everything that you want to surpass in life, all the challenges that are already there, all the challenges that you look forward to, remember, everything is possible. It's just that you need to take the first step. So the next step is actually the first step that gets you going on the way. So I wish each one of you all success in life. I wish each one of you all the best in everything that you're doing. And remember, hard work definitely pays. So best of luck, each one of you, and keep soaring over new heights. Keep being even more successful and keep building happiness and wellness all across. This is George Nathaniel, and as you know, I have my own website which is called georgenathaniel.net. My podcast is available across all platforms. You can come in, listen to my podcast, put in a request, and I'll be more than happy to talk about it. And I think many of you all have also started sending me WhatsApp messages about the topics that you'll want me to cover for you. I'll be more than happy to do that. But let's share. Let's grow together. Let's help each other. Let's build happiness and wellness all across. Thank you so much. And this is George Nathaniel.